I don't know if you guys have seen, we covered it yesterday, but I don't know if you guys have seen the fallout from the Taylor Lorenz piece with Wired. So many people are exposing themselves. So many people. Oh my God. I cannot wait to just show you guys everybody. The libs are mad as fuck. And there's so many people that are like, they literally had to issue a correction. And it's like, huh? Do you people not know how to read? What the fuck are we talking? That is not what a correct. Oh my God. Oh my God. So we got a lot to talk about on that. Even some online leftists are exposing themselves, dude. Disappointed with Jessica Burbank attacking Taylor over petty beef. I haven't looked into that, and it's kind of one of those situations where I'm like, but I don't want to look into this because it's just going to make me sad. Genuine question, what's a shit lib? Chat, what do you think is the best way to describe a shit lib? A liberal who is extra shitty. A lib with no actual values? I mean, everybody in here is saying, like, just the average liberal. It's one of those, like, you know it when you see it. Anyone paid by chorus. The libs that were calling ICE on their Latino neighbors, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, Wiki doesn't even have, like, etymology from shit plus lib. Noun, shit lib. A political liberal, especially a hypocritical one. Yeah. Oh, this is a good definition of it. This is a good one. Person with no core beliefs or values other than supporting institutional power, prefers slogan and optics to actual policy. There's another one. Wait, where'd it go? It was like right here. I hate when you pull up Urban Dictionary and it's like the thing that comes up in the Google search is like 17 fucking definitions down. Essentially, exceptionally committed neolibs. A shitlib is basically a conservative who likes dressing up their conservative politics with, and then it says some other shit. But anyways, yeah. Just like a really shitty liberal, okay? Cumtown's liberal Elmo is a quintessential shitlib.
Where you going, Gordon? Well, I've been priced out of Sesame Street, Elmo. The taxes got too high and had to sell the brownstone that's been in my family for 100 years. And now I'm homeless.
I mean, it's an asset. It's probably
I had to use the money to move my mother into a nursing home.
Oh, man.
And they abused her.
Oh, man. Did you get a settlement or something?
No, not at all. I got arrested for getting too loud on the phone with the insurance company. But now you get to live here, Elmo.
That's awesome.
That's great, Gordon.
Good. Fuck you, Gordon.
Gordon, did you see what conservatives are saying about AOC? Sorry, Elmo. I'm completely checked out.
This is great. I need some space for my podcast studio. It all worked out in the end.
I'll see you later, Gordon. I'm going to Maria Hernandez Park to skateboard until I can give a 19-year-old HPV. I'm going to be a photographer for Vice, Gordon.
I'm 47 years old. Good luck. Good luck moving to Rockland County or something. I guess you're either going to East Brooklyn or jail. Or maybe you'll move with your family back to
Gordon,
the South.
I totally get it. I went to all the protests last summer, you know. I'm on your side.
We really made a difference, Gordon, for those 3 days.
I mean, it's really not that simple, Elmo. You know what? I'm kind of tired of talking about this.
Can't we just all move on?
Let's just fucking move on, please.
We believe in science.
The important thing is making sure the vaccines got rolled out. And last time I checked, it wasn't red fuzzy people not getting the vaccine. All the red fuzzy people I know, they took the vaccine.
It at their earliest.
This is so stupid. I think this is a good definition of shitlib. I think this is good. I think this is a good one. If you don't know.
It's maybe a different group of people who naturally, obviously, have a reason to be suspicious of government. But
I get that.
The orange man is gone. We we have a ghost now.
Elmo murdered in his newly purchased brownstone. Gordon would go out like a fucking hero for that one.
Just because I went to defund the police doesn't mean I can't call them on you.
If I hear bachata music played too loud, too late into the night, I can still call the police.
I have to work for 2 hours.
I called, but I requested a social worker. I told him I thought you were mentally ill for letting your dog bark after 7 p.m. I said I don't want it to turn in to a Tamir Rice situation.
I'm sorry your children were sent to juvie, but they shouldn't have opened that fire hydrant on a hot
Gordon,
day.
did you steal my fucking bicycle? Well, I've got a Ring doorbell, and I'm going to watch the video. Gordon, I'm sorry for accusing you of stealing my bike. It's just, I just got out of a toxic relationship, and I'm still processing the trauma. So you have to understand.
borderline personality disorder.
You have to understand that I have my own issues.
Oh, dude, my jaw.
And maybe we can split your lawyer fees, 75-20. I'll pay 25%, which of course is due back to me. Honestly, no rush. It's 6% interest annually. I swear, no rush at all.
Do you have a business license for this lemonade stand?
Can I see a permit, Gordon? Good night. That's very cute that your granddaughter's trying to start a business, but the thing is it bothers me.
There's a process that you have to
Honestly,
go through with the city before she can make money for her basketball team.
Your tone and the way you're asking me, why are you doing this, is frightening me. And you're leaving me very little option but other than to call the police, which I don't want to do.
I want to defund.
Ideologically speaking, because I'm a good fucking person, I don't want to do it. But push comes to shove,
I will and I have.
I already did. I've requested that they only bring tasers and a social worker.
No,
But if they don't, it's already out of my hand.
I'll film it in case you need it as evidence.
I'll film it just in case.
Oh God.
You don't want to die, you fat.
That was really good. That was really. I've actually never watched that before. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's a pretty good explanation of what a shit lib. They use progressive language. They pretend to be progressive. At the end of the day, they're liberals, and they're just like almost like they're the worst type of liberal. Like every form of liberal is bad, but they're like the worst form of liberal. Well, Olivia Giuliani responded to being ousted as someone who takes the chorus Democrat shill money. And this is what she has to say. Maybe we should go through the article again. We'll go through it again. We'll skim through it again after this.
Because it's just sort of frustrating. Everyone is willing to just believe lies.
The article that Taylor Lorenz wrote about me and a number of other content creators who are part of the chorus cohort is filled with factual inaccuracies.
Wrong.
First and foremost, we are not paid to make content. We are not paid by the Democratic Party. Chorus does not have any creative control over any of the content that I make, over any of the people that I talk to, and they have never and will never tell me what I can or cannot say. The contract.
Translation. They actively went for liberals who already hold these positions, who already have these values, who already are shit libs, and they paid them so that they can continue to feed this Democrat misinfo campaign so that less leftists get exposure relative to these shit libs. And if these people are already holding these positions and you give them more money to continue holding the positions, they are now so biased in favor of their positions that it's going to be a lot harder for them to open themselves up to reconsidering any of these positions, right? If they don't check in with Chorus, they can be dropped for any reason. So yes, they do have control. Yeah, this is like nonsense. Again, just because like for example, if David Pakman was a Zionist,
the mullet rolls are gone, people.
open presents. Thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you. Can we get a let's fucking go for the 25 gift subs? We are leftists are only sponsored. We are sponsored with dark money from open presents. This is true, actually. I'm actually sponsored by gift subs in chat. I will hold whatever position you want me to hold. Whatever position you want me to hold, as long as you gift sub in here. It's true. Thank you again, Open Presents. Thank you for the 25. That's crazy. Thank you. Jonas, thank you for the 19. Snosberry, thank you so much for the 2 months. Slow Death, Hollow Watcher, thank you guys so much for the Prime. Frog Girl, thank you for the 33 months. Okay, so as I was saying, David Pakman, low-key Zionist, high-key Zionist. That guy is like, I'm pretty sure his middle name is Zionism. And I'm pretty sure he probably was a Zionist before October 7th. And October 7th probably just made him an even greater Zionist. Regardless of whether he was receiving money from Chorus. The money that he was receiving is actually literally negligent because he was already holding those positions. But now he's predisposed. Again, it's like you can't really keep good track of your biases, right? You can do your best to keep track of them, but you can't be perfect about them, especially when you're being financially incentivized to hold those biases even stronger. I think like Tim Pool is like the best example of this, where negligible, not negligent. Yeah, sorry. The best example of this made manifest, where you can go back and watch some of Tim Pool's old content, and he like didn't necessarily believe all of the right-wing talking points that he was talking about. He believed like some of them. And then as he got more money and as it was more profitable for him to hold certain positions, he continued to hold them. And he continued to double down and triple down and quadruple down, right? It's the same thing with Asmongold. Like Asmongold only like half believes half the shit that he says. He just sees what the audience wants and he's captured by his audience. So he continues to engage in that behavior and say the things that he knows people want to hear. So it's the same thing with this. It's like, yeah, maybe you held these positions before and maybe you were never going to change them, whether you got the money or not. But it doesn't change the fact that when you're getting $8,000 a month, especially if you rely on that $8,000 a month to be able to continue doing content, you are unbelievably predisposed to continuing to hold those positions. That's just, you know? Oh, so sorry. These people are so funny to come in chat nowadays. Hey, communist, Ethan Based, apt to point it out. This commentary is more like projection without adding anything valuable to the conversation. Brain rot here. You're cooked. Cap. Okay. Can you imagine defending the guy who had the username troll and talked about and made jokes about exposing himself to minors? Like, dude, why are you defending troll? Why are you a shooter for troll? Like, what the bro, stop. Dude, stop. Don't embarrass yourself like this, man. Come on. Please. Please. For the love of God. Comedy is legal. All right. Let's continue.
That we sign does not pay us for content. It is the same as somebody giving seed money to a small business to build their infrastructure so that that business can go on to be self-sustaining in the future. That is effective.
And which businesses are being promoted? Oh, all the ones that are saying, stop talking about Gaza. You're the reason why Kamala lost. Listen, dude, I know that you're like a total fucking moron, twisted tail. So I will only engage one more time, and then then it's over for you. I'm not going to speak to you anymore. This is the last time. But I like how you can't hide from the fact that like you were defending Ethan, and so you have to be like, actually, I like Jasmine Gold. Actually, I don't know if you know that. I actually like that guy instead. Pretend like you didn't read that I defended troll like a month ago. Pretend like you didn't. Oh, dude. That's brutal stuff. That's so brutal. The only thing more brutal than that is being an Asmongold watcher and saying, make better content. Oh, sorry. Is this a little bit better for you?
Like what course?
There it is.
It offers small
Based. There it is.
creators and
Yeah. There it is. Does that feel a little bit better for you? Do you feel more at home? I know full sentences are a little bit harder to understand for you. Full sentences, full commentary is a little bit more difficult for you to understand, but it's okay. If you try really hard, maybe you will be able to, okay? All right, well, I'm done with my food. You guys can play with them, and then mods can ban them whenever. I don't really care. They're kind of boring, and the one rule in here is like, don't be annoying, and you're being kind of annoying. Be at least like a funny troll, and then you're not that funny. You're really not that funny. Okay.
can go on to be self-sustaining in the future. That is effectively what Chorus is. It offers small creators and content creators technical trainings and operational guidance on how to build their own long-term self-sustainable platforms. If you want to get into the weeds about all of those things, you can go watch the videos that were posted by Elizabeth Booker Houston and Allie O'Brien. By the way, two people who are part of this cohort who have been consistently critical of the Democratic Party since all of this started, which debunks the other claim you have, which is that we have to be nice and uncritical of the Democratic
Yeah, and in which ways were they being critical?
Party. It might be easy to convince people on the outside and to convince other creators that the things that you're saying about 1630 and about Omidyar and about journalism are all true. Unlike
defending the Nazi.
a lot of other creators and people on the outside, I have experience in the nonprofit world, the nonprofit compliance world, and in journalism, which is why I am absolutely dumbfounded that your article was even published in the first place. When you submit a piece of content or a piece of writing to someone in an editorial manner, they go through a rigorous fact-checking process. So the fact that your article, which was riddled,
Dude, she's actually so mad.
with factual inaccuracies, was published in the first place.
Okay, so which factual inaccuracies? Just because you already had these dumb fuck liberal opinions and they were like, look, an idiot, perfect. We'll tell her, here you go. Just keep making what you're making. Here's some money. And also don't tell anyone about it.
Is mind-boggling to me. And you're also trying to convince people that the problem here is accepting dark money and that there is a lack of disclosure. Well, Taylor, once again, you're either a liar, a hypocrite, misinformed, bad at your job, or maybe a combination of all of those. You yourself have received funding from Omidyar through their Reporters in Residence program.
You mean something that she's been open about?
But I am in a reporting fellowship that is an LLC that is completely separate from even the organization, the nonprofit organization of the Omidyar Network.
1630.
You know that's the opposite of what she's accusing you of. No one would have a problem with you accepting that money if you were open and honest about it. People just don't want to find out that you were feeding them talking points when you're being actively funded and not sharing any of that information. The fact that Taylor Lorenz is disclosing it, and the only reason you know that she's gotten that money because she disclosed it, is good, actually. Oh, yeah? You accuse us of taking money and not disclosing it. Care to explain this hypocritical clip where you disclose that you accepted money? I'm sorry. What?
Fund is a fiscal sponsor. It is a larger charity that houses smaller charities for the sake of logistics and operations.
The LLC that I'm part of has not accepted any money from the 1630 fund.
You, Taylor, receive money for independent journalism infrastructure building from the Omidyar network, whether you're accepting
Look at this photograph.
it from the nonprofit or from an LLC, you are still accepting money from the same.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of details here. First of all, as everyone else has also pointed out, they're attacking the writer and not Wired because Wired has lawyers who had to approve and check her sources before publishing, so all their bitching doesn't make any sense when you look at it from that angle. Wired is like, I think like in 2025, one of the few news sites, journalism organizations that's still pretty reliable and pretty consistent when it comes to like fact checking. They seem to try to do good work and not publish explicit falsehoods, right? Again, because they don't want to get sued. You as a news organization, you don't want to get fucking sued for claiming that people received money that they didn't receive. And they say even here, let me see if I can pull it up. Where is it? Like it says explicitly here. We can read the entire thing together again. Creators told Wired that the contract stipulated that they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially if they even so much as acknowledged that they were part of the program. Some creators also raised concerns about a slew of restrictive clauses in the contract. Like Wired is not going to publish something like this without doing any fact checking. They even go so far as to say, according to copies of the contract viewed by Wired that creators signed, the influencers are not allowed to disclose their relationship with Chorus or the 1630 fund, or functionally that they're being paid at all. Like Wired here is saying, we saw the contract. There were stipulations that they can't talk about it and they can't talk about being paid. How about you attack Wired then? How about you say, I don't believe Wired actually saw the contracts? Apparently they still can't talk about it. Yeah, that's why most of the people that spoke about it in this article, I think there's like 2 or 3 that spoke about it. And they essentially said, you know, like, I would like to stay anonymous because I'm not allowed to talk about this. And they don't want to get, you know, sued.
Funding pool.
It's not political, it's nonpartisan, and I'm being paid as part of a reporting fellowship. It has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, Taylor, so are we. Because Chorus is a non-partisan non-profit. It is not an entity of the Democratic Party. You are.
Bro, like, you need to stop. You need to stop now. Stop. And quick question, where does Chorus get the money from? Do they just like print out the money? Do they just like shit the gold that they need to be able to pay you? Like, where do they have a money tree? They just willed it into existence. They just like, with the powers of alchemy, they created money.
In the same structured program.
Truly, no one's paying. I'm not taking money from any dark money group. I'm just not. And if I ever did, I would tell you.
When you go to your Substack, there's no disclosure that you have had any kind of operational or seed funding for your independent journalism pursuits, which is how I know that you know the difference between being paid for content and being paid to grow your own independent infrastructure.
She's admitting to it in these TikToks. What is this bizarro conspiratorial opinion here? Oh, yeah? Well, you admitted it on your TikTok, which has hundreds of thousands of followers, and I bet none of them saw it. And you didn't admit it on your Substack. Suspicious much? What? What? What the fuck? It's funny, Olivia says she has journalistic experiences, but demonstrates that she does not understand anything related to journalistic practices. Yeah. Is this the type of journalism I can get from Olivia? Yeah. I wish she was just talking normally. I'd be much more inclined to hear her. The screaming at me is not commenting, or sorry, cementing anything she's trying to convince me of. Well, yeah, I mean, like her screaming in like a pre-prepared video, unless this is a live. This might be cut from a live show. I don't think so, but maybe it is. I think it's a TikTok. Well, you know, let's fact check. Let me show you guys real journalism. That was a joke for everybody in chat. Olivia. Let's see, was it a TikTok or was it a live? It was
Because
a TikTok.
it's just sort of.
Now, it's possible that she cut it from a live, but I don't think so. I think it's just a TikTok. I think she pre-made the TikTok. I don't think she's necessarily a live streamer. Olivia Giuliani. Juliana. I get with like a live show, you know, it's a lot harder to like not scream sometimes, especially when you feel passionately about something. But if you're pre-recording something, you have to know like what would be presented. If someone is accusing you of taking dark money and then you get mad at them, it's like, dude, you got to see the optics of this. Come on.
Sure. If you were following your own ethical guidelines that you put on all of us, you would have a disclosure on your Substack, and yet you don't. I am part of Chorus. I accepted money to be part of a technical and operational training program and a mentorship program. I have absolutely no shame about being part of Chorus. I am someone who has been on my own, working and busting my ass since I was 19 years old to be able to build a better life for my children and give them the safety and security I never had. And next year, when I go back to college and I'm able to finish and become the first person in my family to graduate from college, I will have absolutely.
Holy shit, Lib. Oh my God. I had to take the dark money because I needed to be the first person to graduate in my family. What the fuck?
No guilt in accepting money to make myself more independent in the future. And the fact that
more independent.
you have the audacity to go after creators and say that they are corrupt and that they are twisted for taking money that could help them build a platform.
That's not the problem. The problem is like not disclosing that money.
That could sustain.
The primary issue that people have is that you're not disclosing that you're taking that money. The vast majority of people care about that more than they care about anything else. Besh, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you.
Them and their families for the rest of their life is disgusting, and you should be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself, especially because you yourself have taken the same exact money to everyone.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't taken the exact same money. What the fuck?
Everyone out there who's watching this, who you may still not believe me, you may not find me trustworthy.
Did the article claim that Chorus had an impact on what people said? Yes.
You may think that I'm a paid Democratic shill. That's fine. It's within your right to believe that. If you're still here and you believe the things that I'm saying and you actually want to build a coalition to beat back Donald Trump and beat back fascism, then I'm happy that you're here.
Dude, please. Yeah, that's. I'm glad we went through that entire explanation of what a shitlib is because I feel like this really, you know, this really cements everything together. It seems like there's a common message they're all saying. Is there a Fed message they're reiterating? I mean, there's a chorus. You could say they're in a chorus right now. But I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe. Okay, you can unsubscribe. You can unsubscribe. I understand if that was too far. I get it. All right. My apology. My apologies. Sorry. If there's nothing nefarious about the payments from Chorus and the 1630 fund, then why did everyone who got money keep it secret?
Wow, unstuffing RN.
Zero, thank you for the 2 months. Bro, like, dude. And then we already watched this yesterday, but as a reminder, before we get into it, let's look at the article together because I assume, like, one's in chat if you saw the article, two's in chat if you didn't. I always forget that, like, weekday viewers and weekend viewers are sometimes a little different. There's different groups. It's a pretty long article. As you guys can see, mucho texto, classic leftism. 1112222. Okay. Also, Taylor published a video. Oh, did she break down everything that was in it? The gist of it is that she breaks down that dozens of Democratic political influencers discussed whether to take advantage of an enticing opportunity. They were being offered $8,000 a month to take part in a secretive program aimed at bolstering Democratic messaging on the internet. She goes on to talk about, oh, Mayor Cat, hi. Is it behind a paywall? I don't think Wired does that. Maybe they do, but I don't think so because it's not behind a paywall for me. So you guys should go give the website some clicks, honestly. Oh, Mayor. Let me pull it up. Taylor Lorenz. Okay, and then it talks about how, like, Democrats have fallen behind in terms of basically captivating younger audiences, especially online. Democrats hope that secretive Chorus creator incubator program funded by a powerful liberal dark money group called the 1630 Fund might tip the scales. Program kicked off last month. Creators involved were told by Chorus that over 90 influencers were set to take part. Creators told Wired that the contract stipulated that they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially if they even so much as acknowledged that they were also part of the program. And then it lists off a bunch of people. It says Olivia Giuliani. It says Lauren Peretra. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. I don't listen to liberals. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Goes on and on and on. You guys can look. There's a full list. It lists off David Pakman, unsurprisingly. And now, you know what, chat? I think it's a good idea to try and listen to her video because I didn't see this, but Wired says that they got copies of the contract that showed that they were not allowed to disclose the relationship that they had. Dozens of liberal influencers are believed to have been approached by Chorus about the 1630 Fund financing opportunity this spring. They were told that Chorus appreciated the work they were doing online and were asked if they'd be interested in being part of the first cohort of a new program that Chorus was running to help expand their reach and impact. TLDR, it's like these were a bunch of liberals that were already saying lib shit. Like David Pakman has been a Zionist liberal that's been spewing liberal Zionist talking points for fucking ages. And so he sees it and he's like, $8,000 to keep doing what I'm doing. Sure, let's go. I mean, I don't want to say no to free money, but now that they're getting called out, they're like, but was it really so wrong for me to do that? Was it really so wrong for me to claim that I'm an independent journalist while I'm actively receiving money that jeopardizes my ability to be an independent journalist? Really? Also, they got like a statement, I think from like someone else who was in one of these Zoom calls that spoke to Wired. They said, quote, there are some real advantages to housing this program in a nonprofit. Wilson said to creators on a Zoom call that was reviewed by Wired. Quote, it gives us the ability to raise money from donors. It also, with the structure, avoids a lot of the public disclosure or public disclaimers, you know, paid for by blah, blah, blah that you see on political ads. We don't need to deal with any of that. Your names aren't showing up on like reports filed with the FEC. Wilson did not reply to a request for comment before the article was published. The FEC declined to comment. And then the most recent development on this that I saw, let's talk about a couple other things here. Keith Edwards, a Democratic content creator who has skyrocketed to fame on YouTube since starting his channel last year, was not invited to be part of the program, but believes that the way it was structured seems predatory. He says that he would never agree to take part in a program that was run in secret or wouldn't allow him to disclose funding. What I don't understand is why wouldn't you just donate to creators directly who've already built something and just need to put gasoline on the fire? Democrats at least need to at least understand that the internet exists now, so that's good, but they still think influencers are just there to do a terrible direct-to-camera interview that no one watches rather than just treating us like another form of media. So this is the other problem too. If they just wanted to like help fund Democratic like talk shows that already exist, they could just establish themselves as a nonprofit and publicly give this money to shows that they agree with. Like they don't need to, why would they need to do that behind the scenes? Influencers offered the funding were given just days to sign the contract, which was essentially presented on a take it or leave it basis. At least one cohort was specifically told that they could not have their lawyers redline it. In a group chat formed to discuss the negotiations, some creators discussed a clause prohibiting the disparagement of other creators. Not being able to criticize anyone else affiliated with Chorus felt restrictive to some. Eventually, the creators in the group chat agreed to drop the issues they had. I don't think Chorus is out to screw us. And it says some Orleans, a creator who was offered $8,000 a month, said in the group chat, some influencers for the program were offered as little as $250 per month. Imagine only being offered $250 a month. According to one creator who declined to accept the deal, while others were offered membership into the Amplifier cohort, which provides up to $8K a month. And then they just keep going and going. I'm going to try and find... I want to get to the bottom where like there's one person recently who was like, I ousted Taylor Lorenz as a complete and total fraud. My source, this thing that makes no sense. It was a black woman who was offered $250. Sorry, outed, not ousted. My bad. You're right. Okay. This part was really funny. This is an account that's like, I think it's a creator, but she's a big troll fan. Wired is officially starting to retract and change part of Taylor Lorenz's article. How embarrassing for her. And then she screenshotted an update. Dude, she's fighting for her life in the replies. Where they're saying, this isn't a retraction or a correction. It literally is. Do you not know the difference between the word update and correction and retraction? So the update reads, following the publication of this article, Graham Wilson of the Elias Law Group, whose participation in a Zoom call was reported upon and did not respond to Wired's pre-publication email requesting comment, reached out to Wired on several points. These include whether members of the cohort can publicly talk about working with Chorus and Chorus's connection to Good Influence, both of which Wired has clarified. We have also included comment from Wilson regarding Chorus placing restrictions on content and whether Spehar was included in any Chorus materials. So like the correction in question for this embarrassing piece from Taylor Lorenz is that they reached out multiple times for a comment and then they didn't comment. And then after Chorus saw how much traction this article was getting, they were like, dude, hello, we need to speak to you guys at Wired. Hello, this is not true. It's not true. Please. I know you guys got a copy of the contract, but it's not true. And that's it. We'd like to comment now, please. We want to comment. This is a common Republican strategy too. Don't rely before the publication. Reach out to get a correction on the article, and they can use that to push the narrative that they retracted it. But meanwhile, it's not even retracted because they're still like, they stand by their statement about seeing the Wired reviewing the contract and seeing that there were clauses in there that showed that they couldn't that they couldn't disclose where they were getting the money from.
I knew something was up when I accused Olivia of getting paid by Dems months ago and suddenly started getting trolled by liberals glitchcat.
So like this guy, Wilson. Wait. He spoke up. He reached out to them after this. after he saw this shit. The part where he says, there's some real advantages to housing this program in a nonprofit. You know, we don't have to tell people where the money is coming from. We don't have to disclose the donors. You don't have to see any of that stuff. It doesn't need to be reported with the FEC. And then it says, he didn't reply to a request for comment before the article was published. And then he saw this. He's like, dude, fuck. Hello. No. How did you get that Zoom call? Please. And then here we go. Says here, Don Hyder, the chief executive of the Markula Center for Applied Ethics at Santa Clara University, says that the outlined restrictions violate ethical norms. If the contract you're getting, for getting money from a particular interest group says you can't disclose it, it's pretty simple. You can't take the money, he says. We're living in an era where a lot of powerful people have basically taken the rule book and thrown it out the window. Wilson maintained in a post-publication email that creators are free to work with other groups or take on other partnerships outside the chorus programs and say whatever they want as part of that work or on their own. Like, I like how the correction, the retraction/correction is this fuckhead Wilson saying, wait. They can take money from other people. And they can say what they want from the money they're taking with the money that they're taking from other people. Like if we're paying them for TikTok and then a different organization gives them money for YouTube, they can do what they want on YouTube. So really, are we really restricting what they're saying when we're letting them take money from other people and say whatever they want as part of that work or on their own? When they're working with other groups or other partnerships outside of us. This is the epic correction, by the way. And then we have this part, which is need some water. Oh. Following publication of the article, Wilson said there's no record of V being included in any course materials, nor being named as part of the effort. Okay, this is like a creator. And that's it. That's it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you really got her, dude. Yeah, no record is doing a lot of lifting here. Yeah, this guy says that I was included on some of the chorus decks, like we have access to V when you do not, he said. A liberal content creator with over 3.5 million followers. So basically they were listing this guy's name and saying that they were working with him and they weren't, seemingly. And Wilson is here to tell us all. Wilson from Chorus is here to tell us all. You know, we don't have a record of that. I don't know. Maybe we deleted it right before we spoke to you. It's hard to tell. Maybe we didn't look that hard. We might have misspelled V. So, like, we don't have any record of this. Our corruption contract doesn't have a non-compete clause proving we are ethical. Take that, leftoid. You're like, what is the own here is that Wired issued an update, not a correction or retraction, where this guy Wilson from Chorus, who was ousted as, you know, being one of the head honchos helping give these creators dark money, where he responded after, even though they reached out to him before, to say, hey, okay, so I'm not going to disprove anything you said, but just so you know, we don't have any record of this guy that you said we put on our chorus decks. And also, we don't have non-compete clauses. So, yeah. Can you put that in there? Can you just, I think that'll make everything else look better. I think that'll make that. The own is that Wired issued the update that made the creators look even worse and they're celebrating because they don't know how to read. Oh, dude, come on. Oh, come on. Dude, at the bottom it even said clarification. That's still not a correction. Yeah. And the clarification is like, hey, everything else you said was right, but we don't have non-compete clauses. And also, I know this guy said that he saw his face on these decks, but we don't have any record of this guy, so who knows? Maybe he was on those decks, maybe he wasn't. We don't have any record. That's not like fundamentally, what's the problem? That creators weren't allowed to disclose that they got the money. This guy Wilson did not clarify that and say, no, they were allowed to disclose it. He doesn't say that because Wired literally got a copy of the contract. So he doesn't change that. He doesn't change that. So he's admitting that that part is right, essentially. And then what's the other important thing? That they're giving them the money to post specific Democratic content that presumably doesn't question, U.S. imperialism, doesn't question Gaza, doesn't question Israel, whatever. And he also doesn't say anything different about that. He just says well, they can take money from other companies too. And that's it. That's it. That's the correction. It's not a correction. But okay, sure. I want to see Taylor Lorenz's video.
A powerful liberal dark
money. I'm gonna get some water. I'm so thirsty.
Group is secretly funding some of the biggest Democratic influencers on the internet. And I got a hold of their contracts, payment terms, recordings of their meetings, pitch decks for the program, email and text messages between the creators discussing terms, company communication, and more. My story is out right now on Wired, and it's linked in the description below. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty details of who is secretly funding some of the most prominent Democratic voices on the internet, it's important to understand what's been happening over the past 9 years. In 2016, I was a politics reporter covering the election. I was traveling across the country, attending Trump rallies and talking to voters. And one thing that a lot of them had in common is that they had discovered Donald Trump and his MAGA movement on the internet. They were bombarded by his content on platforms like Facebook and Reddit and fed his messaging through a burgeoning ecosystem of far-right online influencers and forum admins. Online influence was central to Trump's rise and played a huge role in his 2016 win. On election night in 2016, while almost the entire mainstream media
was— the thing is, all of these social media platforms, they do one thing, which is they promote divisive content. Basically, any type of content that makes people really mad, right? And right-wingers just engage in less civility politics than left-wingers do, which is why that content gets super promoted. But that's also why I've been the biggest proponent of not the biggest proponent. let's not get too crazy. I'm sure there's people that are bigger proponents, but it's why I have constantly supported dirtbag leftists, or at least some of the dirtbag leftist rhetoric, and why I think that the Hassan Pikers of the world should keep doing what they're doing. We should— when they go low, we should go lower. It doesn't mean we should break our value system for it, but I don't think we need to be nice and polite to the Nazis and fascists. Okay? I'm not saying oh, well, this Nazi is a trans person, so we should be transphobic. No, this person's a Nazi, so you can call him a Nazi that will never be loved in their life, that they're a fucking pathetic loser for being a Nazi, and all these other, you don't have to be polite to these people. You can still believe in your progressive values and call them what they are. Blair White is a great example. You don't have to dead name her, and you don't have to what's the term when you use someone's incorrect pronouns? Why am I blanking on this? Misgender. Excuse me. I don't know why that was cooking my brain. You don't have to misgender her, but you can call her a Nazi piece of shit. You can say, hey, Blair White, you are the fakest bitch on the planet. You are a Nazi fuck. None of these people like you. All of these people will happily throw you in the fucking grinder, you idiot. You are the person voting for the leopards eating face party, you fucking idiot. Go that hard, please, by all means. Or calling Candace Owens Clandis Owens. She engages in white supremacist dialogue. You can call her Clandis Owens. It's okay. I give you all my permission. Or I'm sorry, I never want to see anyone in here type legal mindset. His name is Ladyboy Mindset, okay? Get it right. It's Ladyboy Mindset. And I think that this is a great way to force algorithms to push leftist content. If they will only push divisive content that makes people feel really strongly, then why the fuck are we even engaging in civility politics? If we want to win the internet war, doesn't it make more sense to engage in harsher language and more aggressive language? As long as we don't, as long as you don't give up your values. Sorry, I think there are some people that don't understand why I say that he should be called Ladyboy Mindset, and that's because he's talked about going to Asia, living in Asia, and the different ladyboys, and his buddy calls him a ladyboy expert. And he's the one who uses this language. Like, we should be using this to call him that because he's the one who insists on using this language, right? Let me see if I can pull up the clip. He's a ladyboy enthusiast? Exactly. Yes. You're not making fun of that term. You're making fun of that guy for being that person. Where is it? I don't know if I can find it off the top of my head. He also uses his legal training to help other white men get residency in places like Thailand and Philippines. Yep. Correct. Self-described enthusiast. Correct. Yep.
Giving up your values to attack your enemies only alienates you from the community and allies you say you align with.
I can't find... Oh, maybe he scrubbed it off of the internet. I'm sure Bad Empanada has it in a video. Because it was on Twitter. There were multiple clips on Twitter of it. And I'm like, I can't even find it. Maybe he scrubbed it. Maybe he DMCA'd the pages that had it. It might be gone forever. Not actually, obviously, Bad Empanada. Okay. Let's keep going.
Huddled up in the Javits Center watching Clinton lose.
Wait, someone found it? Hold up. This.
Right, which I can understand having been in the Philippines because I can say this, and this is all due respect. This is nothing about ladyboy or not ladyboy. It's just the Philippines versus Thailand. Thailand has a more of a sabai, a cool attitude. You know, Philippines is way more aggressive.
Well, I don't know, man.
No. The Filipino ladyboys, I can tell you this, in Manila.
Right.
And
you're an expert.
I can see how that was imported here, are far more aggressive than the Thai ladyboys. And
until they're not, until it changes, until the ties snap and it's like.
Well, yeah, but that's a different.
Yeah, true.
You know,
true.
Like off rip.
Well, because
don't let him live this clip down, dude. Every time he speaks, this clip should be fucking played. It's like every time Nux Taku speaks and he's like, I got it 100% fuck. You got to play the Twitch's hentai song. You gotta, okay? What we're making fun of when we call him Ladyboy Mindset is the fact that he went in great detail about the different ladyboys that he's run into in the Philippines and in Thailand, and his buddy calling him an expert. Like, we're making fun of him for being a weird chaser freak who is such an expert on this that he's down to talk about it with his fucking Richard Spencer ass haircut. I don't have any strong opinions about actual people in Thailand or Philippines or whatever. Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's the gangs in New York on Soy 11 featuring all the ladyboys.
Yes. Which was international news. Everyone asked.
Like, I don't believe in civility politics for these people. We should make fun of these people. They should be made fun of. Wait, which one is Nux? No. Sorry. Neither of those people were Nux. I was saying in the same way that, like, anytime you watch a Nux Taku video or even a clip or even 5 seconds of it, you have to play the Twitch's hentai song to show everyone, hey, this is the guy that you're trying to take seriously right now. It's the exact same thing with this guy. All right. Don't play it. I'm not going to play it.
A small handful of other journalists were across town at the Midtown Hilton where Donald...
I have to pee really badly, but I'm listening with my earbud.
Trump was camped out with his family and campaign advisors. I was in the room at the Hilton when Trump won and stayed at that event until 6 a.m. What was notable that night and why I think that evening was such a watershed moment is that when Donald Trump took the stage for the first time as the incoming president, he was surrounded by new media. That big party room at the Hilton was packed with MAGA influencers, far-right internet personalities, and popular online figures. And when Trump took office just a few months later, those influencers were there again. They all got together to celebrate the night before his inauguration at an event called the Deplorable. The event was a who's who of early MAGA content creators. It was organized by right-wing influencers Jack Posobiec and Mike Cernovich. Other online figures like Cassandra Fairbanks and Gavin McInnes were also in attendance. The Deplorable was held at the National Press Club, and a Peter Thiel associate involved with planning the event said, quote, "Doing it at the press club asserts that we're the new force in town." The whole night, and I was there, was about how MAGA influencers were the new media. Attendees vlogged the party and posted an endless stream of content to Instagram and Twitter. The Deplorable was live streamed on YouTube and the conservative live streaming platform Right Side Broadcast Network. When Cernovich spoke to the crowd, he talked about how the influencers had been able to seize control of the media through the internet. He said, quote, "We ran Twitter. The ground had shifted and media had been permanently upended. But back then, legacy media and certainly the Democrats absolutely refused to acknowledge it. I will never forget getting up on stage at a DC event in 2016 to give a slideshow presentation about influencers like Jake Paul and the entire crowd just laughing. Throughout the 2010s, the mainstream media continually declared that the influencer industry was dead, that content creators were just selfie-obsessed narcissists. Not a single mainstream media outlet had a dedicated beat reporter covering the content creator industry. Instead, legacy outlets declared this whole shift towards independent influencers as a fad. They refused to acknowledge how online influence played a pivotal role in Trump's win, aside from blaming Russia for buying Facebook ads. They ignored the MAGA movement's very real and very organic grassroots support online and acted like Trump's win was an anomaly. But the reality is that conservatives have been laying the groundwork for total online dominance for years. The far right began cultivating a personality-driven media ecosystem back in the days of talk radio in the 90s. And when the internet came along and social media began to really take hold in the 2010s, conservatives leaned in hard. Turning Point, a nonprofit that advocates for conservative politics in high school and college, was founded by Charlie Kirk in 2012 and quickly emerged as a de facto influencer network. Ben Shapiro founded the Daily Wire, which birthed a slew of right-wing influencers just a couple years later in 2015. Around that same time, Gamergate, a misogynistic hate campaign aimed at driving progressive women out of video games and media, provided a blueprint for how the internet could be weaponized by the far right. Gamergate also catapulted the first generation of MAGA influencers to fame. The alliances that formed around Gamergate's participants, including Milo Yiannopoulos, Candace Owens, and other future right-wing internet stars, eventually metastasized into a sprawling network. In their book, Meme Wars, the writers Joan Donovan, Emily Dreyfus, and Brian Friedberg argue that Gamergate funneled an entire generation of young reactionaries to MAGA. Steve Bannon, who was central to Donald Trump's win, praised MAGA influencers like Milo for creating an online army that got turned on to politics and Trump. These far-right online creators and the groups of reactionaries who followed in their footsteps eventually came to amass enormous power and serve as the backbone for the broader right-wing media ecosystem even today. When 2020 hit and the pandemic forced everyone online, you'd think that the Democrats would have embraced new media. But after all coalescing around Joe Biden, it was primarily progressive and Democrat influencers themselves who banded together to try to get Trump out of office, with minimal support from the party. In late 2020, hundreds of Gen Z content creators joined up under the name TikTok for Biden and produced a steady stream of content urging young people to get out and vote Democrat. After Joe Biden won, he thanked this group specifically and told members of TikTok for Biden, which rebranded as Gen Z for Change, that they were integral to rallying support online and delivering him a win. Biden's White House attempted to engage more with influencers, especially in its early days. COVID had made everyone, including the media and even men in Silicon Valley who had maligned the influencer industry for years, realize that the creator economy was probably here to stay, but they still sort of treated it as a sideshow that was secondary to traditional media outlets like CNN and the New York Times. In 2021, the Biden White House worked with influencers to promote the rollout of the COVID vaccines. And in 2022, the administration began briefing TikTokers about the war in Ukraine. But soon, influencers began asking hard questions, especially those progressive Gen Z influencers who helped get Biden elected. When Biden falsely declared that the pandemic was over in 2021 and started
Sorry, I had to get some water, and then I also had to pee.
To dismantle public health and enact policies on COVID that were further to the right of Donald Trump, disability justice influencers challenged him. And when Biden approved drilling projects that would devastate the environment, climate activists on TikTok fought back. Then, after October 7th, when Biden began manufacturing consent for a genocide against the Palestinians and sought to ban TikTok because it was allowing young people to see what was actually happening in Gaza, content creators began asking tough questions of the administration. Biden's response, though, was to completely cut them off. The White House began leaving progressive content creators off invite lists and only working with milquetoast Democrat creators who towed the party line and basically never spoke out against injustice. Khalil Green, a history content creator, told me at the time, quote, "I have noticed that there have been a lot more events with creators at the White House, but the creators that are getting invited are the creators who are very pro-Biden and just parroting talking points or sharing photo ops of them smiling with the president, not the creators who have been critical." Green said that he hadn't been invited to the White House since he criticized the administration over the TikTok ban and genocide in Gaza. Annie Wu Henry, a political influencer and digital strategist who has worked on Democratic campaigns, told me that while the Biden White House once treated creators as independent media, after influencers began questioning Biden on things like Gaza, the administration began playing favorites. She told me, quote, "Biden's team is trying to say that they're handling influencers like the press. But the thing is, the press briefing room has to have Fox News no matter what. They have to allow all the media in. When it comes to influencers, the Biden admin only lets in people who agree with them. Anyone else who gives a little bit of pushback is not."
The crazy thing is, too, people would appreciate and want to vote blue more often if they ever allowed any criticism ever. If, like, this is just a random example. I really don't care who they include in the fucking White House. But if, like, Hassan was able to question these fucking policies ever, who knows? Maybe more people would want to vote blue. Or, like, Adam Friedland. Do a fucking Kamala Harris, Adam Friedland interview. I really don't care. Anyone that will actually needle them on the genocide. I don't care who it is. I don't have any particular opinions about who it is. Pick anybody you want. I really don't care. And then maybe people would feel like, wow, okay, the Democrats are actually willing to listen to us. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be more but like, they won't, they refuse any pushback at all.
Welcome. This picking and choosing and trying to control the influencer landscape had stark consequences for Biden, as I wrote about at the time in the Washington Post. In the first 4 months of 2024, nearly a quarter of top left-leaning content creators on TikTok posted anti-Biden content, according to Credo IQ, a social media analytics firm. Those posts collectively amassed over 100 million views. The majority of anti-Biden content was from young, non-white creators who were talking about how Biden and the Democrats were out of step with the culture and what most young voters wanted. According to a 2024 Morning Consult poll, 2/3 of Gen Z voters, that's 67%, said that Biden's decision to back the TikTok ban, support the genocide in Gaza, lie about COVID being over, approve new oil and gas drilling projects, among a slew of other issues, made them unlikely to support him and left a sour taste in their mouths about Democrats. When Kamala Harris became the nominee after Biden dropped out in late July, things didn't improve much. The Harris campaign's influencer strategy was totally backwards. Rather than capitalize on the momentum that she had initially amassed from progressives online, the campaign shunned left-leaning content creators in favor of more controlled media appearances. They sought to crack down on online speech and blacklisted content creators who had criticized the administration or Joe Biden. The Democratic National
Thanks, Flappy. Thank you for the 8 months.
Convention in Chicago initially accredited over 200 creators under their Creators for Kamala program and even placed some on the convention floor. But the Harris campaign and Democratic establishment only admitted influencers who were already extremely loyal to the DNC. Instead of embracing a wide range of creators on the left, including progressives, the Democrats built a tightly controlled echo chamber. The campaign once again blacklisted influencers who interviewed members of the uncommitted movement or spoke out about the war crimes that the Democratic Party and Joe Biden had sanctioned. Several high-profile content creators had their access revoked mid-convention. Hassan Piker, the largest and arguably most culturally relevant influencer on the left, was initially invited to the convention, but after he interviewed delegates from the uncommitted movement, his access was revoked on stream. This approach alienated younger voters who increasingly get their political news through authentic, unfiltered online voices. And it revealed a deep misunderstanding of how cultural legitimacy is earned in the digital era. The content that was produced under this strategy flopped hard. Harris's Call Her Daddy interview, which was heavily promoted as this major moment to reach young audiences, was stiff and felt scripted. Instead of viral moments, the campaign had centrist Democrat influencers with no organic audience repeat sterile talking points, avoiding the issues that people actually cared about. Meanwhile, Harris passed on opportunities to meet audiences where they were truly engaged. She bombed so badly on a potential appearance on Kareem Rama's Subway Takes that the video didn't even get posted. She also failed to land an appearance on Joe Rogan. The Democrats funneled resources into glossy but lifeless content that just did not resonate with anyone outside of the DC consultant class. The DNC lauded Beltway-adjacent safe content creators with small audiences while dismissing genuinely influential figures on the left. The result was an influencer strategy that completely squandered cultural capital and reinforced the perception that Harris was a manufactured and out-of-touch candidate. Throughout all of this, Trump was busy endearing himself to millions via freewheeling conversations with popular live streamers and podcasters. He went viral on podcasts like the Nelk Boys, Full Send, and Theo Vaughn. On November 5th, 2024, Kamala Harris lost. Trump won the popular vote, and the Democratic Party's abject failings could no longer be ignored. McKenna Kelly, a journalist for Wired and undeniably the single best reporter covering the intersection of politics and the internet, memorialized the Democrats' failed strategy in a 2024
commentary could be done now just for that. I'm not going to comment for the next 17 hours of stream just for saying that.
Piece titled, quote,
I know you don't respect women, but when women speak in my presence, I listen and I learn. I can tell that when women speak, you immediately interrupt them. And then they immediately stop talking to you. And that's why you haven't gotten a date in 17 years.
The year the Democrats lost the internet. Media Matters founder David Brock, a staunch Democrat, told McKenna, quote, the floor has absolutely collapsed with the Democratic Party's brand online. People who don't care about politics don't like us. People who care about and work in politics don't know how to represent us. We are seen as completely out of touch, and as more folks turn to unconventional methods to get their news and media, we are set up for a colossal failure going forward without a strategy shift. For months, leaders of the Democrats, high-profile donors, and liberal political figures bemoaned their lack of support online. The Democrats were finally forced to confront the reality that the media landscape had shifted. In an article I wrote about Trump's win for The Hollywood Reporter, I found that by late 2024, by nearly every metric, legacy media was in decline. Average monthly unique visitors to websites for the country's top 50 newspapers declined 20% to under 9 million in the fourth quarter of 2022. According to ComScore data, the amount of time people are spending consuming legacy media content is getting shorter every single year. The influencer economy, however, is skyrocketing. It's set to...
The other thing, too, is I don't think she's mentioned it. Maybe she'll mention it in a little bit, but influencers are a lot cheaper than billboards. And you get a lot more bang for your buck. Like, this is the reason why HelloFresh sponsors so many people. This is the reason why, what's that one? Not Blue Apron as well, but I'm thinking of like the other. There was a really big one that was being pushed. BetterHelp, VPN, Factor. These companies get a lot more bang for their buck directly targeting creators because you pay very little money and you immediately get like retention stats. Like you get a number of click-throughs, you get a number of buys off of that click-through, right? So you actually can immediately see whether or not your investment has paid off. Whereas when you get like a billboard or you get like a TV ad, you're only really getting that for like product placement in people's brains. So when they go to the store and they're like, I want soda, they think of Coke. And they're really cheap relative, again, to other ads. So influencers are not only very cost effective, but they're also great for metrics for companies. So there's no reason to not engage in more targeted ads like that. So it might seem bizarro to see like AT&T doing sponsored streams or whatever, but also it's kind of not because it's a very cost efficient way to advertise, right? Also, Joel, I don't know why the notification didn't go off, but thank you. Thank you so much for the 10 gift subs. Thanks. And also, Romaldo, thank you for the 9 months. And also, thank you for the other 4 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. What was I going to say? Oh, man. There's something else. I'm still dealing with this headache, chat. I'm starting to think that the headache might be like that I'm not getting enough sleep. But that doesn't make any sense because I sleep like 7 to 8 hours a day. Sometimes 9. But it's like a back of the head now headache. So maybe it's a sleep one. I don't understand. Drink lots of water. Dude, my pee is clear. My pee is literally clear. Vaxxed, question mark? And then people were like, well, maybe you're drinking too much water. So I had a bunch of electrolytes yesterday. And
Denims is definitely top 5.
Denims is definitely top 5. Finally played. So yeah, I was like, maybe I just... Oh. Back of the head is usually a blood pressure headache for me. Like if I didn't drink caffeine that day. But I always drink the same amount of caffeine. Like I'm kind of like a machine when it comes to caffeine. I have 100 milligrams when I wake up. And then I have 100 milligrams at like 1 o'clock. So 100 milligrams is about a cup of coffee. 8 ounces of coffee. I think it's like 1 espresso shot. I think. No, wait. A shot of espresso is 27. Just a cup of coffee. And I always have the same amount. I have it when I wake up. 1 cup of... the equivalent of 1 cup of coffee in the morning. And then 1 in the afternoon. And that's it. So, like, I don't know. Stress? But I'm not even stressed. Maybe the stress of, like, losing my ranked games is getting to me. Maybe that's what it is. It's really hot in California. You might be more dehydrated than usual. Only saying that because it happened to me yesterday. I don't know. Because, like... I'm peeing so much. It's actually getting really annoying. Too much excitement at the Epstein Klein drama. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Blue light? No, I've been getting less blue light. I've been going out more. It's been really annoying. I would eat a steak with 4 eggs. I'm sorry if you're vegan. My vegan? Where did I put it? Sorry, I don't know. I'm going to go and I'm going to look into... I've never gotten a massage before. So I don't know how fucked up my shit is. So I'm gonna try it. Never? No. Never. So I'll look into getting one of those. Do you grind your teeth at night? No. No. My family would have made fun of me if I grind my teeth. Trust. I thought it was like an electrolyte thing, so I was like, I went ahead and bought like some Pedialyte. This is the ripped off Pedialyte. And I had like 1 or 2 of these. I had like one yesterday. I've had one today, and it's still there. Still there. So it's not that either. It's not that either. Look into sleep debt. Sleep debt on 8 hours of sleep every day? Vitamin D deficiency? No, because I go outside. And I also take vitamin D supplements. So, like, it's not that either. Someone's saying tension. I don't know what tension is. Do you snore? No. Tension headache. What's caused? What is it? Allegedly, women are supposed to get 10 hours. I am pretty eepy, to be honest with you. I think they're honestly, genuinely, I think I might need like another 1 or 2 hours of sleep. Genuinely. I think I might need that. But what is tension? What are tension headaches caused by? Symptoms. And just see a doctor. What is it? The Mayo Clinic doesn't even. Okay, causes. It's not known. What? Damn you. How does this help me? Someone tell Denims to look into it. Look into it. Causes. We don't know why it happens. Get enough, but not too much sleep. Don't smoke. Stay physically active. Eat regular balanced meal. Drink plenty of water. Limit alcohol, caffeine, and sugar. I do all of these things. Damn it. Like I don't smoke. I work out 3 times a week. I sleep a good amount, but I don't oversleep. Maybe I could use another hour or 2. Maybe I need to up the number from 8 to 10. I eat regular balanced meal. I don't have a lot of sugar. I don't have a lot of caffeine. I've been drinking so much water, dude. I don't know. Anyways, maybe you need a new neck pillow. No, I have like a really good pillow. Have you balanced your humors? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe I should try smoking. Yeah. Okay, sorry to get distracted. It's like ruining my ability to think. It's really fucking annoying. Get the leeches? True. Is there a way to get unvaccinated? Maybe that'll fix it. Train your neck. It could be the blood flow. What are you, a vampire? Get some almond coconut tea with brown sugar. Now you're just fucking typing shit. Now you're just fucking typing some shit. Have you considered that the world is sort of shit and that might be stressful? No, I'm built different. I'm only mentally impacted by video games. I see the world burning around me and I'm like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. I lose one game. It's like, dude, this is my personal 9/11. Does it help if you close your eyes for a minute? Let me try that. No, I don't think so. I found that my bra was contributing to my headache sometimes. Are you serious right now? Sir, another loss has hit the ranked history. Dude, I went on like a 10-loss streak the other day. It was so brutal. No, I'm a PT. You could have bad neck. You know, I did get like one of those MRI scans done. And they did say my neck bone's not so good and my lower back bone's not so good. They did say that. They diagnosed me with bad neck. But my posture is good. Well, you guys can tell me. This is my average posture. Maybe I should move this.
Pants.
I feel like that's good posture. It's not like this would be perfect posture. This would be perfect. So I do roll my shoulders a little bit. But I think that it's still pretty good. I still feel like it's still pretty good. I don't know. Good posture doesn't exempt you from migraine. Yeah. I've actually been really good about stretching, guys. Anyways, sorry to distract. I really need help with this shit, chat. I really need help. All right, moving on. Any jaw problem? No jaw problems. I'm going to end up with Ethan neck. I will never end up with Ethan neck. I will never end up with that. Lower back and neck problems. Denims is officially in unk territory. You know, I am not joking when I say I think my lower back problems might just be like, you know how women with big chests, my chest is not big enough for this, but you know how women with huge titties get like lower back problems? Do you think that there's something similar that happens if your ass is too big? Because I'm going to be honest. I did adopt all of my mom's genetics on this, and she gets the exact same pain in her lower back. Because like, what if it fucks with your center of gravity? Like what if it impacts your ability like to stand? This has nothing to do with my migraines or headaches. 48 months watching.
48 months watching that baddie with the bad neck and no jaw problems. I have never been disappointed.
Nah, because your ass is muscle. It's muscle. Then why do it jiggle? I don't think muscle jiggles. Huh? You didn't hear that. Do you sleep on your back? It might misalign your spine when you sleep. I'm more of a side sleeper. Build muscle on your hamstrings, back and chest, balance it out. I mean, I do full body work. Okay. We're getting too deep into it. I'm
not a licensed masseuse. I'm actually an engineer by trade, but if you want me to try working those knots out, you let me know, miss.
Me when I'm hard.
LUL.
No sleep apnea? No, chat. No. I'm actually like, this is the worst part of being mostly pretty healthy. When you have mildly annoying problems, going to the doctor is useless because they're just like, It's just mildly annoying and nothing is wrong with you. It's like, God fucking damn it. You do blood work. Yeah, everything's good. God fucking damn it. Yeah, you're good on all your vitamins. You're good on your iron. Yep. Sodium is good. I don't see anything. Nothing's wrong. No. Do you work out? Yeah, like 3 times a week. No, I mean, I don't know. Do you stretch? Yeah, 3 times a week. Magnesium good? Yeah. It's all good. It's like, they're just like, dude. Best way of treatment is to make sure you're not missing out on any certain food sources. Oh, no, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with nutrition. I had a very harrowing moment years ago where I had nothing. I never got Taco Bell when I was in New York. So for like the first 25 years of my life or something, I just like didn't have Taco Bell ever. And then when I tried Taco Bell for the first time, I went on like this crazy Taco Bell binge. And I'm not joking. I had like Taco Bell every day for like a week. And then I started feeling really sick. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Oh my God. And I like crawled over to the fridge. I'm like, I got some vegetables in here. I was just like chewing on the lettuce, eating some broccoli. I'm like, what else? I think I have some kale. I'm like, dude, what is working? Nothing is working. And then I'm not joking. I had 1 orange and then I immediately felt better. I was like, maybe I'm not getting enough veggies. No, I was just giving myself scurvy. And after that experience 2 years ago, it's like, okay. All right. We're going to be good about nutrition from now on. We're going to be good about it. We are going to be good about nutrition from now on. Honestly, not a plug. I really need to reach out to Huel and be like, dude, sponsor my fucking stream. Huel is a really good way to make sure you don't have vitamin deficiencies. Because even if you just have like 1 of them a day, which I generally do, you're at least getting most of your nutrients every single day. And I always have like oranges or orange juice in the fridge. And I always have like some green vegetables in the fridge. You sure it's not the leftist dark money crushing you? Maybe that's what it is. But I feel like a bunch of other people they just deal with headaches. So I'm gonna try a massage next. I've tried almost everything else. So we're gonna go to a masseuse. I am not going to a chiropractor. Do not ask me to go to a chiropractor. I'm not doing that. Besides the fact that like I don't trust chiropractors. Sorry if there's any chiropractors in chat. My bad. I don't like the idea of someone cracking my shit, dude. I will crack my shit. I don't want you to fucking crack me. Don't do that. No. No. Like when they do the thing where they're like, I'm like, ugh. But I will consider going to a masseuse. I'm gonna try and find a good one. Have you thought about the fact that if the chiropractor paralyzes you, the migraines won't be a problem anymore? You know, when you put it that way, apparently acupuncture is not real, which makes me really sad because it looks really cool. But there's no like science that backs up acupuncture. Because there's science that backs up meditating. Like literally, you meditate, you feel better. Like they will measure your heart rate. They will measure people's general feelings, like how much you sweat or whatever the fuck. Not like self-prescribed or described emotions or feelings, but like literally they put the shit on you, the little sensors or whatever. And when you meditate, you feel better. You're less stressed, less cortisol levels in your, like meditating is really good for you. And then they've tried maybe there's new acupuncture stuff, but I haven't seen the acupuncture stuff. I haven't seen anything on that stuff. I thought there was a science for acupuncture. I don't think so. Honestly, placebo is real, so anything you think benefits you, and that's why you get crystals. It's true. Look up dry needling. It might be similar. Oh, what do you think about yoga? Dude, yoga is a workout that I don't like. People are like, I do yoga for fun. And it's like, you're like halfway through the yoga session. You're like, I just want to go back to squatting my pounds, dude. Let me go back to my deadlifts, please. Anything but yoga, please. It's brutal. Anyways. You know what's something I thought wasn't real but is real? This is so girly YouTube, but you know that I don't know what else to call it, but it's this like stone that women I mean, it's not women exclusively, but mostly women that I've seen, they like massage their face with it. It's not the one that's on the roller. Gua sha, how do you pronounce it? Gouache? Oh my God, I'm like butchering this shit, dude. China will never give me citizenship. Gua sha? No, that can't be right. It's like wash with a G. Gosh. That can't be right. Gouache. Now I feel like you guys are just fucking with me. This shit. We're going on this tangent. Trust me, it's worthwhile. Come with me on this journey.
Gua sha is a Chinese therapy tool that looks like this, that is used to help stimulate microcirculation of the skin.
Okay. Anyways, I wanted you to see what she does. Where is it? Where's her actually using it? This.
With the upper trap. And so some people feel a little bit more comfortable going a little deeper here.
Is she going to show it on her face?
Or your provider.
Oh, yeah.
Puffy or swollen in the mornings.
This is one of those things where I was like, this is a scam. This has to be a scam. And apparently it's kind of not a scam. But that's only because doing any type of like massaging helps with blood flow. And that's it. So you don't necessarily need the stone to do it. But yeah, just circulate. I thought it did nothing. I thought it did literally nothing. And it's kind of not a scam because it's just like any type of massaging is always good for you because, again, blood flow. So a scam. I mean, no, it's not a scam if it does something, right? It also feels really good if you cool it. Yeah. It does stimulate the lymph system as well, yeah. What she's selling is a scam? I mean, no. You could do this with your hands. Sure, but the thing is, the people who try to sell you this shit, they also sell certain motions, and the motions actually are good for stimulating your lymph nodes and for stimulating better circulation. You don't necessarily need this specific rock, but the pages that I've seen that have like pushed this stuff are like, they're like, this is my routine or whatever. I'm like, this is fake. There's no way this does anything. And it actually does, which is cool. You could just use a spoon and have the same effect. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like the stones are like $700. Like you can get one of these stones on Amazon for like $10. But okay. Moving on. Sorry to get sidetracked, but I really wanted to talk about that.
Surpass $500 billion by 2027, according to a recent Goldman Sachs report. In 2023, 30% of consumers trusted content creators more than they did 6 months ago. According to
Is that not depressing?
A report by Sprout Social. And since that report was published, the numbers have only ascended. Rather than confront...
Not that people trust content creators, because that's its own problem, that there are people that like trust content creators that should not be trusted, but more so that like mainstream media has gotten so dog shit and like news sources have gotten so dog shit that nobody trusts it anymore.
The wildly unpopular policies that the Democratic establishment continues to cling to, liberals convinced themselves that they only had a messaging problem. They began crowing online about how Democrats simply needed a left Joe Rogan. Quote, liberals need to build their own Joe Rogan. Somebody who can speak to the people that he speaks to, the Nation's Elie Mystal posted on X. The lesson that many Democrats seem to have taken from their stunning loss in November was just more podcasts. A slew of DC political consultants, many with zero experience in the influencer industry, recognized an opportunity. Soon, organizations began sprouting up and soliciting millions of dollars from donors. The billionaire and millionaire donors that Democrats are so reliant on were seeing headlines about the party's failed influencer strategy, and they wanted to put money towards changing that. But they also had no clue about how the internet works. The mainstream media, as usual, only made things worse. Instead of accurately explaining to readers that the Democrats'
honestly, average orange cat
platform itself was the problem, traditional news outlets convinced a lot of rich people that if Kamala Harris had simply paid the right Twitch streamers or done a podcast or two more, she would have won.
I agree. Literally, and this is the most infuriating thing about the Democrats. This is why I fucking hate the Hutches of the world and even honestly the David Pakmans of the world. It's like she didn't even have to commit to a position. If she wanted to win, you know what she had to do? She could have told AIPAC, hey, I'm going to lie to these idiots so they vote for me. All right? Calm your fucking tits. I'm just going to lie to them so we can win, and then we can continue bombing as many brown kids as we want to bomb because we're the United States and we love U.S. imperialism. And then she could have gotten on any leftist fucking YouTuber, any fucking leftist streamer's platform and been like, yes, we're taking the genocide really seriously. Or even ethnic cleansing, or like we're taking what's happening in Gaza very seriously. And, you know, I plan to change how Biden has approached this conversation, how Biden has approached this conflict, how he's approached this war. And I promise you, we are going to make a difference. Like, they can just lie. This just fucking, don't tell me that you guys can't win an election because voters don't want to vote for you when you aren't even willing to lie. You're not even willing to try a little. You just don't want to fucking win. I will end offensive weapon shipments to Israel. It would have been enough to win the election. Yeah, dude, I just saw this recent David Pakman clip. Please, everyone buckle in. So he had already said this yesterday. I guess these are from the same one. But these are from the same episode where he says, like,
the left needs to organize independent media in the way that the right has been doing. The left needs to fund independent creators the way that the right does.
Is the left in the room with us right now? Because it looks like just the shit libs are in the room with us.
The right has won even arguably presidential elections because they're...
I used to kind of watch this guy, how embarrassing. Listen, you know the most infuriating thing about David Pakman? Again, I said this yesterday, but like he has the same allure or appeal of Northern Lion because he has like deadpan humor. And like he's had guests on before where he just like lets them talk and he's like, okay, so what you're saying, like, And then after, don't insult Northern Ireland like that. My bad. Sorry. After October 7th, he was just like, oh, you guys want to know my stance on Israel? No? Well, I'm going to give it to all of you anyways.
Organized with regard to online and independent media. They're killing us. We've been so behind. And this kind of support for creators is exactly what I've been advocating for.
I've been exactly advocating for people to give me money to give opinions that you can see on MSNBC. Sorry, MS Now.
I also was told that other creators, like a Twitch streamer named Hassan Piker, were covering this in ways that don't reflect the reality of the situation and are perpetuating falsehoods about what is and isn't going on. Now, I can't speak to the motives of the people that wrote the article or those that are reacting to it. I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on, and then you can judge and you can make an assessment of me. Now, I also want to mention, I'm aware that many of the people I'm hearing of aren't even part of my audience. They're doing the
Gotcha, man. This is not the time. I'm just kidding. Thank you for the gift tub. Denims Glazer, thank you for the tier 1. Cockrate, thank you for the 48. Happiness Bunny, thank you for the 6. Thanks, guys.
well, now I'm
This is what I've been advocating for the whole time. More money in politics coming to me.
unsubscribing, and they mostly were never subscribed. And so I'm aware of that, but it doesn't matter because I want to make sure my audience hears from me about this. Now, the most important thing to say is that the idea behind this group is exactly what I've been advocating for years. It's for
I like how he didn't actually explain what it was that Hassan said that were like falsehoods, that he felt like he had to. He just said that.
I can't speak to the motives.
I'm sorry. Please tell me if I misheard that.
Of the people that
the headaches are giving me fucking brain damage.
Wrote the article.
Did he not just
or
say
those that are reacting to it. I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on, and then you can judge and you can make a Hassan Piker. We're covering this in ways that don't reflect the reality of the situation and are perpetuating falsehoods about what is and isn't going on. Now,
what did Hassan Piker? He's saying Hassan Piker covered the dark money that is being funneled into liberal influencers incorrectly, but he won't tell us what is incorrect about it. Hassan literally just read the article. Dude.
I can't speak to the motives of the people that wrote the article or those that are reacting to it. I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on, and then you can judge and you can make an assessment of me. Now, I also want to mention, I'm aware that many of the people I'm hearing of aren't even.
Hassan covered this incorrectly by reading this article and not glazing me. Now, it's important for me to tell all of you that I've always said from day one, I should get more money for defending Israel. I've always said this from day one. I have been a real day oneer on this topic. What? What the That is so fucking stupid, dude. Can I say something, chat? Can I say something but no one get mad? Hassan is a moron. So true, King. What, do you want a cookie for that? Do you want like a little award? Do you want like a trophy? Do you want some love that your mother never gave you? That last one I can't give you, but what do you want? What do you want? Just I need to know, what is it that you need? What do you think would make you whole? No, where is it? Lib Cuck of the Day award. We do need a Lib Cuck of the Day award. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This is a separate post that I really want to talk about with you guys. I lost it. Did you guys see this fucking Dean Withers thing? Not to get too off topic, but like, can we get too off topic? Their statements are also all identical, real Sinclair media shit. Yeah. I like how every single one of the people that's saying that all of the statements proposed and made by Wired about us, all of the people saying we're taking this dark money and not disclosing it. Okay, just so you know, all of that is true, but we disagree. And they all are doing this. Every single one of them is doing this. You can just put them side by side. Put the Olivia video, put the David Pakman video.
This is Jessica Headley. And I'm Ryan Wolf. Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities, Mid-Michigan communities. We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces. But we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country. Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of media use their platforms to push their own personal bias.
Just like every single person from this fucking from the Corps payroll, not literally the payroll because that's not how it works, but from the Corps payroll is like, you know, some people have been saying things that have been very untrue about us. And we're here to say we hate Hassan Piker. Okay, no, sorry. This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys saw this. This kind of like
text message this morning. Dean Withers hints that he will likely not be doing Charlie Kirk debate prep with Hassan anymore. Thanks for sending me the resource on Hassan. I appreciate it. I probably won't end up making it out there for a handful of reasons, including the resource shared by y'all. Oh no. No, I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but I don't think that this is going to be a reason why Dean and I don't collab. No, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. This is not... Hutch was bragging about this post, Lamau. First of all, where do I begin? We will most likely still do this collaboration. But it is pretty funny to think that like this is a major setback. Like even if this collab didn't happen, like a major setback has taken place.
it's also less of an like it's kind of a self-own. This post is like a self-own where it's like, at Dean, still collaborating with Hassan, knowing he's a apologist who also engaged in revenge. I like how none of this is true. No, his only horrible take, more in depth about him, and it's this fucking dog shit Medium article post. And then Dean says, like I meant to say 5 days ago, thanks for sending me the resource. I appreciate it, but I probably won't end up making it out there for a handful of reasons, including the resources shared by all. Let me just say a couple things, okay? Listen, if Hassan can rehabilitate Dean Withers, I wish him the best of luck. All right. I wish him the best of luck. I think this is more just like showing how fucking cringe the Hassan anti-fans are. It's like, guys, he's a terrorist. He's a terrorist sympathizer, apologist. He's engaging in revenge. And none of it means anything at all. It's like, okay, all right. Okay. Judge me by my enemies. Yeah, this. Exactly. Judge me by my enemies. Are you sure about that, Hassan? Really? Do you think people are not going to side with troll? Checkmate, leftists. Yeah. Precisely. Absolutely agree. All right. And then I want to...
About how the internet
want
works.
to keep going.
The mainstream media, as usual, only made things worse. Instead of accurately explaining to readers that the Democrats' platform itself was the problem, traditional...
Wow, a liberal is betraying you? I'm surprised. Famously, liberals have never betrayed leftists ever.
News outlets convinced a lot of rich people that if Kamala Harris had simply paid the right Twitch streamers or done a podcast or two more, she would have won. So it's into this climate that these nonprofits and consultancies start to emerge. One of the most high-profile ones is a nonprofit called Chorus. Chorus launched with a splashy profile in the New York Times written by journalists Shane Goldmacher and Ken Bensinger. Chorus billed itself as a nonprofit advocacy organization and creator-led hub dedicated to helping independent media figures expand their reach and push democratic policy. Chorus also positioned itself as a quasi-newsroom, akin to what conservative groups have built on the right, but for liberal creators. According to a pitch deck that I obtained, Chorus claimed that it wanted to change how progressive content creators operate by providing ongoing stability, resources, and support that legacy journalists and conservative commentators count on. I'd love to know how legacy journalists have that kind of support, but that's another issue. Chorus said that it would, quote, leverage the tenets of its cohort to help creators hyperscale their audiences and break through across platforms and genres. It also said that it would, quote, recruit, train, and support high-impact content creators who want to elevate essential issues and bring news into the cultural space. It would do this through financial support and shared resources like studio space, editors, researchers, bookers, and legal and fact-checking services. Chorus boasted that the brand was
essential issues, like talking about how we must defeat Trump no matter what. We have to defeat Trump. He is the real fascist in power. Also, don't ever criticize the Democrats, ever. Denims, watch this.
We could get help from one of the groups in the liberal movement.
No. Don't trust the liberals. They will betray you.
Mike, you're such a boomer. What did Hassan do that they can even dishonestly call revenge porn? He received unsolicited nudes, and there is a potential that other people saw them when they were looking at his phone when he was using his phone. So pretend like I'm Hassan, and this is me, and then I open a message that has an unsolicited nude, and then a friend of mine is next to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And that is what the, yep, that is, these guys are so dripless. They think if that someone sends you a nude that's unsolicited, you're somehow responsible for that. Like, if he was explicitly on his stream saying, hey, ladies, send me them titties, send them over. And then I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, come on, dude. You have like a impressionable audience that obviously has like fan behavior towards you. They're obviously going to be likely to engage in. You shouldn't do that. Shouldn't coerce your audience to engage in sexual activities with you. But like, people doing it when you didn't ask and that's your fault somehow. Like, what the fuck? You didn't even know it was a nude. It just popped up in his face on it. It popped up in his face on stream. I'm so bizarre. I just don't get it. They're all mad because no one willingly engages with them, let alone sends nudes. I mean, dude, that Ethan Klein clip. All right, moving on. Wait, where did I put the... Oh, here it is. Sorry. I moved it.
Able to amass 50,000 followers on social media accounts, and that it had already attracted at least 4,000 donors to support its mission. From the beginning, it was clear that Chorus was tightly aligned with the Democratic establishment. In January, Chorus bragged that the organization was the first to host a, quote, creator-led forum for the Democratic Party chair candidates. That same month, Chorus announced a partnership with Impactual LLC, a centrist Democrat consulting firm with deep ties to the Democrat donor space. The content creators that Chorus initially touted as being part of its founding group also included several holdovers from the Creators for Kamala days. But as Chorus's fundraising deck made it around to donors, it also ended up in the hands of some big-time talent agents and managers that represented or knew some of the less pro-establishment creators featured in the deck. Some agents balked at their clients being included in a fundraising deck without their prior knowledge. and other anti-establishment or pro-Palestine creators who had never signed up to be part of Chorus were confused and angered that their images were being used to raise potentially millions of dollars without their consent. In addition to the fundraising deck, the faces of several influencers were also featured prominently on the Chorus website beneath a giant donate button. Users who clicked the donate button were taken to a fundraising page that read, quote, "Supporting Chorus means supporting independent online voices and building the next era for online news and conversation." But donations made via that page did not go directly towards the creators pictured. Multiple influencers featured on Chorus's website were frustrated that they were included on the page and used to solicit small dollar donations without their consent. Progressive YouTuber and former Media Matters staffer Kat Abugazaya, who's running for Congress in Illinois,
bless her heart, bless Taylor Lorenz's heart,
was pictured on Chorus's website and included in fundraising decks without her approval.
Wait, where is that? She tried. Kat Abugazala. I think it's Abugazala, but there is an L there.
On Chorus's website and included in fundraising decks without her approval. She asked that her image and name be removed and no longer used for fundraising and marketing purposes. When I asked Chorus about this back in April, Chorus's co-founder, Brian Tyler Cohen, issued a statement through his comms director saying, quote, "Chorus came together quickly on a few Zoom calls with creators after November, and we've been running at full sprint since then. As a creator, I would never want to put another creator in a difficult position for any reason, and we removed Kat when she asked." Ali O'Brien, a progressive creator who was featured on Chorus's website below the donate button, said that the company must have just taken an image of her off social media. She said, quote, "I did not even know that I was on this website. I am not financially tied to them at all." V Sphere, known as Under the Desk News, who has over 3.6 million followers on TikTok, told me, quote, "I'm not in any collective at all. That's my problem with the way it went down. I don't think anyone should be pitching me other than me. What we need is for people to invest in independent media, and that doesn't necessarily mean investing in a consulting group that is going to become a middleman."
If you're investing in independent media by giving them money and telling them what they can say, that's definitionally not independent media anymore. If they were just dropping like 100 gift subs and like Twitch channels, that would be investing in independent media. Because they're not telling them what to do. They're not saying that they should take the money. They're just willingly giving out gifts. That would be fine. And that would be dope. And they should do that in my channel. But that's not what they're doing. They're having these people sign contracts where they can't say that they're receiving any money and that they can be dropped for not covering the right things. They want the control and the dependency? Yeah. This idea that we're just trying to support leftist creators by putting them in these contracts. Like, what the fuck? This is really funny. Apparently now what the Taylor Lorenz responded saying, "Chorus is nonpartisan is a new one. If that's true, why do the company's own confidential decks that I obtained frame Chorus as a solution to Dem messaging problems? And why is that also exactly how Chorus framed itself in the media before my story came out?" Oh my God, dude. Oh. It's just so pathetic. It's just such a pathetic
for
shit
independent
show.
media. Chorus's effort to act as a bridge between creators and political leaders ruffled the feathers of influencer management companies and talent agencies as well, whose job it is to negotiate opportunities for their talent. Representatives for big-name creators told me that they felt like Chorus was luring their clients with promises of access to political leaders, quote, "Then they go to a bunch of donors who don't know anything about the creator space except that we need a left-wing Joe Rogan, and they raise money from them. These are dollars that belong to the creators," the marketer said. Another representative at a major...
I mean, it's like, it's sad, but it's just a general rule of thumb that you shouldn't ever accept money, especially if you're like interested in doing journalism. Which I don't even call myself a journalist because I'm not. But you shouldn't ever accept money if you can't say that you're taking money from these people. Like, I would be happy to take money from some companies and be like, "Yeah, guys, I'm getting money from this and I'm donating half of it to charity." If it's like a shitty company, but it's a lot of money. But like, you shouldn't take, first of all, you shouldn't take money from shitty companies. But second, you shouldn't take money that you can't disclose that you're taking. Isn't that just sponsored streams? I mean, basically, yeah. It's unethical not to disclose it. Yeah. Dude, if Raytheon was like, dude, we'll pay you $1 million. Just put like a Raytheon ad in the corner of your stream. I'd be like, Chat, would you hate me if I took that and then donated half of it to charity? Would you hate me if I did that? If I could put some of that money towards helping my parents retire and then put the rest of the money to charity? Because at those obscene amounts of money, it's like, damn, that would like change my family's life. And then that would also change a lot of other people's lives, just again, via charity. And then as soon as as soon as that contract is over, just spend the rest of the time shitting on Raytheon. Put a video together about how shit Raytheon is or something. Right? It's not hidden at least. Yeah, exactly. And then get sued. No, I would never get sued. Actually, I've never gotten sued before. It's never happened. Not charity, but mutual aid I would allow. Real. Didn't Hassan have that option, but his dumbass said no to 1 million? But it was like, okay, that one was, it was like a gambling ad. Right? Adam ruins everything. Actually, the same thing happened to him recently, but actually. Was it DraftKings? Might have been DraftKings. Oh, was it Polymarket? Polymarket just feels really scummy. Also, I feel like it's different when, like, you don't need money, if that makes sense. When you don't need any money and you're still taking the sponsor ads. I've talked about this with regard to, like, the I think CoffeeZilla made a video about, like, the number of, like, sports betting and, like, it was with like CS:GO crates or something like that, like the betting on those websites, and how like the creators that pick up those sponsors because they want to like help their fucking families retire or whatever in this shithole country, in this shithole economy. It's like, it's really hard for me to judge these people personally. If you were offered like $500,000 to immediately ensure that like you and your family can live well and like potentially retire, it's hard to say no to that, right? It's the people that are like the that have obscene amounts of wealth, like the XQCs of the world that have so much money and they're still doing it. It's like, dude, how much more money do you fucking need? Like literally, how much more money could you possibly need? Much less likely to get hooked on anti-aircraft missiles than on crypto gambling. Exactly. Love of the game. Ugh, dude, for real. For real. But you should just, like, general rule of thumb, if you want to have credibility as a political commentator ever, you can't take sponsorship money that you can't disclose that you took that money. I mean, think about like Tim Pool, dude.
Major Hollywood agency who asked to remain anonymous told me that Chorus, quote, has no respect for how the entertainment industry works. They think they're smarter than
Dude has an insane number of sponsorships. No, dude. No. I mean, some of these are like fine, right? Like Magic Spoon, they just make protein cereal. It's fine. As far as I know, Ground News is fine. But like, damn. This guy he's sponsored. Oh, he's sponsored, all right.
Agents and the agencies.
Magic Spoon cereal tastes like dog shit. Okay, some of the cereal is like straight up ass. Some of it, it's like the black licorice flavor, I think is like so awful. It's so awful. But I had like some of the cereals. 2 of them were pretty good. But like also you can't compare it to, this is the problem with like non-protein heads trying to have protein food. You can't compare the protein food to the actual food. It will never taste like the actual food. If you want the actual food, go get the actual food. People are like, they get like cinnamon toast flavored protein cereal. And they're like, it doesn't taste exactly like cinnamon toast. This is a scam. It's like, dude, it has 20 grams of protein per bowl. Of course, it's not going to taste exactly like it. You have to compare it to what it should taste like. Or like, does it fulfill the craving if you're currently trying to like cut or whatever? So, there's a way to get more protein to taste all right. Yeah, yeah. They should try to not make it look like Fruit Loops then. Okay, admittedly, some of the foods they look too good and then they taste so bad. But I don't know. I thought some of the cereals were okay.
Get away with that in the short term, but they're going to get the party blackballed. There are only so many times that agents will allow some middleman to take ad dollars from our entertainers before they're like, F these people. And they're getting very close to that. After I reached out to Chorus for comment about all of this back in April, Chorus sent an email blast out to the creators in their network reading, quote, some reporters are reaching out to creators about Chorus and it seems with not great intentions. To me, this set off immediate red flags. As a journalist, anytime you reach out for comment about something and the company or organization immediately starts smearing you, especially when they're bad-mouthing you to people who have nothing to do with the story, claiming that you have not great intentions, you know that there's more to that story. Let me just also say that claiming journalists whose job it is to challenge power, investigate wrongdoing, and report on news happening on their beats have some sort of bad intentions is really poor form. The job of a journalist is to be annoying. It's to piss people off, and especially
I'm something of a journalist engineer myself. Fringe games. Thanks. That's really nice of you.
to piss off people in power and to hold organizations to account. So I kept digging and talking to creators. I spoke to several creators who attended an early chorus activation at the Capitol for Trump's joint address to Congress. The influencers were brought to the Capitol by Chorus to create content promoting Democratic messaging. It was marketed to the liberal content creators as an opportunity to interview members of Congress. But when they showed up, it became apparent that Chorus hadn't actually booked interviews for anyone aside from Brian Tyler Cohen, who co-founded Chorus. One creator who attended the event told me, quote, it was essentially go to the Rayburn building and go trick-or-treating for interviews. It was so embarrassing, and it didn't put us in the position to make good content. After knocking on the doors of lawmakers' offices unannounced, the group of creators was able to generate content that ultimately garnered over 53 million collective views. But afterwards, they were asked to submit that content that they created to Chorus in order to get their travel costs reimbursed. This irked the creators, who felt like Chorus now wanted to use their content to put into a deck in order to show the Democrats who hired Chorus how successful their activation was, when in reality, the creators say that they received little to no support. V-Sphere of Under the Desk News told me, quote, it was Chorus's first test as a collective, and I wasn't there, but it didn't look like it went so well. Creators made good content, but they would have made that content without Chorus. Through a spokesperson, Brian Tyler Cohen responded to me saying, quote, while not everyone who went to DC with Chorus had the same experience, this trip led to dozens of interviews and posts that generated an audience more than 50% bigger than the speech itself. I'm proud that an organization only a few months old had that kind of impact, and we're iterating so the experience and our reach can be even bigger next time. But a few months later, influencers began reaching out to me again about Chorus. They told me about a new creator program that the organization was recruiting people for. I was interested, and so I started digging. Before long, someone leaked me a private group chat where dozens of Democratic political influencers were discussing whether to take advantage of an enticing opportunity. As I write in Wired,
how did the creators not? How didn't the creators walk out then? Money. Content creator group can't create content. That's awkward. Yeah. Yep. Giant fucking grift. They're so scummy. They want the work and effort and videos, but with the least amount of help as possible. Too busy trying to promote themselves. It's so pathetic. Brian Tyler and Depstiny, dude, not calling him Johnny Depp, dude, have done multiple collaborative content together. It's funny, tried to say Candace Owens likes Taylor, therefore she's bad, when you can just, dude, it's so pathetic. How do they think this wouldn't leak? I mean, dude, bias is strong in these people. People have really strong biases that they want something to be true so bad that they'll believe it no matter what. And they're like, it's okay. It'll never come out. It'll never come out. It'll never come out. I mean, dude, how is pirate software real?
Being offered $8,000 per month to take part in a secretive program aimed at bolstering Democratic messaging on the internet. But the contract, which was sent to them from Chorus, came with some major strings. The influencers in the group chat debated the details and whether or not to try to collectively bargain for changes in the contract. Lorenzo, a non-binary creator in Columbus, Ohio, with over 884,000 TikTok followers, asked the group, quote, should we send a joint email or are we just going to send things separately and hope they change everything for everyone? Eliza Orlins, a public defender and reality TV star, posted, quote, any Newsies fans here? We're a union just by saying so. A reproductive justice influencer named Perry, who posts under the handle @WomenInAmerica, posted in the thread, quote, reading through this revised Chorus contract like, you win some, you lose some. I also think there's at least 4 other things that should change. Laughing face. But the vibe I got from their email was that there would be minimal, if any, changes. Erin Parnas, a Gen Z news influencer who has been called the Gen Z Walter Cronkite, posted to the chat, quote, I don't feel strongly about pushing, to be honest, in regards to the contract. Quote, they aren't going to modify it anymore. Seems like a take it or leave it. The influencers who made up the chat have millions of collective followers and are some of the biggest names online posting in support of the Democrats. In the end, the majority of creators in the chat ended up signing the deal. I found...
What's the saying? It's easier to fool someone into believing something than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Out that the secretive program that the influencers were discussing in that chat is actually a massive new initiative. The goal of this new influencer program is to try to tip the balance of power on the internet towards the Democrats. And the program is being funded by a powerful liberal dark money group called the 1630 Fund that is working with Chorus. The 1630 Fund is distributing as much as $8,000 per month to influencers. The program kicked off last month, and the creators involved were told by Chorus that over 90 influencers were set to take part. Rather than launching the program as a public-facing initiative, however, where creators could openly and transparently use the funds to invest in their businesses, the program is being run in secret. Creators told me that if they were even so much as to acknowledge they were part of the program, the contract stipulated that they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially. Influencers included in communication and an onboarding session for those receiving payments from the 1630 Fund include Olivia Giuliani, the centrist Gen Z influencer who spoke at the DNC last summer.
Olivia's toast. Yeah, that was a bad video from her. It's like Richie Torres. He got busted on Adam Friedland with the we both know what we signed up for after Adam's appeal, basically saying he's not going back to projects. Housing APAC pulled him out from, and is convinced it's only meal ticket. I think it's the same for freaks like Olivia. If she's a really, really young mom. Yep.
Dare.
Also, the fact that she threw in that little dig and called her a centrist is amazing.
Content creator who runs an American Girl doll themed pro DNC meme account.
I mean, it's more just like you get what you paid for. If you're getting this this $8K a month, right, to basically push whatever talking points they're telling you to push, and to not talk about getting paid by them. Well, guess what? You run the risk. You're making a calculated risk. Okay. That if it ever comes out, you lose a lot of credibility. That's a risk you're going to take. You can't be upset when it comes out and then you lose credibility.
Suzanne Lambert, who has called herself a Regina George liberal, Sander Jennings, a former TLC reality star and older brother of trans influencer Jazz Jennings, David Pakman, who hosts an independent progressive show on YouTube covering news and politics, Lee McGowan, who goes by the online moniker Politics Girl, Lauren Pietra, a former Playboy executive turned political influencer who hosts a podcast for the Occupy Democrats, and dozens of others. According to copies of the contract that I obtained, the influencers are not allowed to disclose their relationship with Chorus or the 1630 Fund, or thus functionally that they're being paid at all. Here, I'm just going to quote a bit directly from my Wired piece, which is linked below. Dozens of liberal influencers are believed to have been approached by Chorus and the 1630 Fund about a financing opportunity this spring. They were told that Chorus appreciated the work they were doing online and were asked if they'd be interested in being part of the first cohort of a new program that Chorus was running to help, quote, expand their reach and impact, creators told me. Following the initial outreach from Chorus, many creators expressed concern about some stipulations within the contract. According to copies of the contract, creators in the program must funnel all bookings with lawmakers and political leaders through Chorus. Creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagements with government officials or political leaders. One creator who was offered the contract but ultimately declined to take it and asked not to be named told me, quote, if I want to work with another politician, I have to fully collaborate with Chorus. If I get Zoran and he wants to do an interview with me, I don't want to have to give that to them. The contract also prohibits standard partnership disclosures, declaring that creators will—
When I Am a Politics Girl mentioned that forgiving student loans was a bad idea, I bailed on her content. Did she actually say that? Student loan forgiveness is like objectively one of the best decisions that an administration could take or make. Who said that? I'm a politics girl.
Quote, not publicize their relationship with Chorus or tell others that they're members of the program, quote, without Chorus's prior express consent. It also forbids creators from, quote, disclosing the identity of any funder and gives Chorus the ability to force creators to remove or correct content based solely on the organization's discretion if that content was made at a Chorus organized event. Graham Wilson, a lawyer working with Chorus, told creators on a Zoom call that I obtained a copy of, quote, there are some real advantages to housing this program in a nonprofit. It gives us the ability to raise money from donors. It also, with this structure, avoids a lot of the public disclosure or public disclaimers. You know, paid for by blah, 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 that you see on political ads. We don't need to deal with any of that. Your names aren't showing up on reports filed with the FEC. I reached out to the Federal Election Commission about all of this, and they declined to comment. Already, creators in the program are creating content together. In a new weekly series titled Good News in Politics, 6 creators in the program shared a collaborative video running through liberal political wins. The caption read, follow these creators, bringing you hope instead of doom scrolling. There is zero disclosure from any of these creators on this post or others that they are part of this program or accepting money from the 1630 Fund. Elizabeth Dubois, Associate Professor and University Research Chair in Politics, Communication, and Technology at the University of Ottawa, who's researched ways that influencers are reshaping the political system, told me for Wired that, quote, we are seeing influencers being pulled into these dark campaigns or shadow campaigns where the legal aspect is murky at best. Dubois added in my article for Wired, quote, sometimes it is actually clear that influencers are being used to, for example, evade spending limits. I think that we need to remember that for democracy to thrive, we do need transparency around who is paying for political messages. She added that political orgs and dark money groups are increasingly, quote, using this information environment in a way that allows them to circumvent transparency safeguards. For my Wired story, I also spoke to Don Heider, the chief executive of the Marcella Center for Applied Ethics at Santa Clara University. He told me that the restrictions outlined by Chorus and the 1630 Fund violate ethical norms. He said, quote, if the contract for getting money from a particular interest group says you can't disclose it, then it's pretty simple. You can't take the money. We're living in an era where a lot of powerful people have basically taken the rule book and thrown it out the window. And this is the part that really shook me too. As an independent journalist and content creator myself, I think that trust is so absolutely important. With big public media companies, we know where their money is coming from. And with influencers, we should know where their money is coming from too.
Why are none of these other people who are corroborating her claims being attacked? Well, nobody wants to get on Wired's bad side, right? So they have to attack Taylor Lorenz because she's an easier target for them than actually targeting the journalistic integrity of a full website, like a news org. It's just like, it's so obscene, dude. It's just so obscene. Can we talk about how libs are using the phrase purity politics to put down anyone who says that they don't want to vote for Gavin? Let's take pictures tearing down homeless camps, Newsom. I think Gavin Newsom is one of those people where, I've said this since day one. I mean, like, you cannot be a leftist and like Gavin Newsom, right? You can, however, appreciate that he's one of the few politicians that has realized that the only way to fight rightoids is to play by their rules. If they say they want a gerrymander, you say, we'll do it harder than you will. Like, imagine if we had people that, imagine if every single, like, Mitch McConnell was replaced by a gruesome Newsom. At least then we would have some fight. At least then it would be the expected reality that your congresspeople or your politicians or your governors or your mayors would actually fucking fight for you. But instead, what do we have? Oh, well, we're just waiting to see if it gets a little worse first. And then we'll see, we'll decide what we're going to do. I saw someone say Gavin isn't fighting fascism, he's fighting Trump. Correct. He's fighting Republicans. He's not fighting fascism. And he's not fighting for leftism, obviously. It's brutal, too, because it's like, for every, like, shit policy that he's been involved in California, he's also been involved in, like, good policies. Like, putting a cap on insulin in California to $35. It's a good policy. Making it, like, basically impossible for child influencers to be abused by their by family vloggers in California, which is why they all fucking left to Texas. Good policy. Good policy. You know, like, he's had a lot of really, really good policies over the year. It should be free, TBH. Okay, guys. You're comparing it to, like, hundreds of dollars a month. To $35 a month. Obviously, it should be free. It's about what you can actually get. Right? And so, like, he'll have, like, we need to put the homeless people in the homeless machine grinder. And then he's like, oh, well, we're definitely going to raise the minimum wage. It's like, fuck, dude, come on. Why can't you just, you clearly know what the good positions are. Why the fuck are you doing this? Can you just do some? Can you just stop doing some good and some bad? Can you just do all good? 35 insulin is already market standard. It wasn't before that. That's what caused it to become market standard. Which is the way that, like, basically all federal policies have worked over the past century in the United States. A bunch of states will be in favor of a policy and a bunch of states will adopt the policy until it becomes a federal policy. So yeah, for every, like, good policy he has like one, we're going to put the fucking homeless people in the grinder policy. $35 is worlds better compared to $400 to $1,000 for medication I would die without. Yeah. To look at that and be like, well, you know, you could have made it free. It's like, okay, first of all, you don't know that. Okay. Oh, excuse me. The stupid Trump tweets aren't groundbreaking either, but the bar is so fucking low that he's just getting people on his side. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Trying to find sorry, I'm trying to find something really quickly. One moment. He's not even doing the Trump tweets. He hired someone. Yeah, no shit. Obviously. Just like Mamdani hired a fucking team. You think Mamdani was sitting there fucking drafting these TikToks himself? No. Trying to find something really quickly. There's this like master post of, like, actually good policies that he's supported. I'll have to look for it later and then I'll send it to you guys, or we can do a stream maybe tomorrow or the day after or something and we can go through it. The problem is just, like, If you believe in like incrementalism, which I do, you believe in getting slightly better politicians and then slightly better politicians and then slightly better politicians and so on and so forth, right? And that going in the opposite direction where we're just like, yeah, well, you know, I'm okay with this, or what some people would call purity politics or whatever. The problem is you have to support, not you have to, that's not right either. The moment that a more progressive Gavin Newsom appears and he's ready to dethrone Gavin Newsom, I am all in favor. Like, I am fully in favor of getting Gavin Newsom the fuck out. When we don't have progressive candidates actively running for governor or for mayor or for whatever, yeah, I'm going to take the guy that's trying to raise minimum wage for healthcare workers. I'm going to take the guy that's trying to fucking get insulin to people at cheaper prices. I'm going to get the guy that's trying to help with unions, right? I would rather have that person, obviously, right? Especially the one who's actually willing to act like an attack dog against fucking Trump and Trumpites. Okay, but anyways, he wins by default right now. I mean, yeah. It's not like he's going to get seated by a Republican. I mean, yeah. Recognize the time to move? Uh-huh. I mean, you know what the best example is? Brad Lander versus Zoran Mamdani. Fuck no, I don't want Brad Lander. Okay? Are you kidding me? I don't want the guy that gives any credibility to Israel. Fuck that. Of course I'm going to take Mamdani over that. But if the option is fucking Cuomo and Lander, I'll take Lander, dude. I'll fucking take that. Hello? I'm just waiting for Gavin Newsom to post in front of the homeless grinder 3000. Yeah. Wormy. Newsom is actively making the lives of trans people worse. I mean, he did have what is it called? Fucking Charlie Kirk on to talk about, yeah, the trans issue. Obviously. Okay. You're not gonna find me disagreeing with you on this. I'm making a different point. I'm not saying Gavin Newsom has never done anything wrong and has had no wrong positions ever. Of course, I'm not fucking saying that. Also, Chad, I've always been really open about my opinions. The reality is, like, if someone is willing to fight Republicans, like actually fight them, not fucking Jeffrey Hakeem's fight them. And that's the best candidate that exists. I mean, I think you can vote for that candidate if you want to. You don't have to fucking vote for anyone. Just fucking vote for no one. Play video games all day. I don't care. And then also criticize the shit out of them. You can do both, right? Like you could have voted for Kamala Harris or wanted to vote for Kamala Harris and also showed up at the rallies and asked her about Palestine. You can do both, right? Hakeem Jeffries, sorry. I don't know why I said Jeffrey Hakeem's. Just because you vote for someone is not a fucking oath of loyalty. Yeah. Yeah. But anywho, guys. Anywho. I don't think Gavin is incremental good at all. I mean, I don't think you know about any of the policies that he's implemented in California that have helped people in California. Because he absolutely has implemented. He's the reason why we have a $20 minimum wage in California for fucking fast food workers. But anywho, it is that time of day. Yes. Anyways, no, don't say sad. Stop. My stance has always just been that Democrats are probably easier to bully into better positions. Yeah, I mean, Republicans are just not going to listen to you ever. Republicans will never listen to you. They're just going to keep being evil. There's no universe where you can convince a Republican to be a little bit less evil. They're like not beholden to their voters at all. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They say, no, trust us. This is good for you. Source, we don't have one. But why are you doing this to us? Why are you leaving us? I'm sorry. I apologize. Why are we accepting the premise that he's our candidate instead of trying to overthrow him? That's my annoyance. I mean, what are you suggesting? Like a January 6th? Because I already said, like, the moment that a candidate steps up and is willing to run, we should get critical support behind them. Up until that point, we just, don't engage with the system at all? That feels worse somehow. Here's my position. Gavin Newsom's first instinct after the election was to kiss Charlie Kirk's ass. Yup. That said, gerrymandering the fuck out of every state we can has always been correct. He's not anyone's candidate yet. 100% agree, Mike. 100%. Like, listen, the second that a real progressive is running against Gavin Newsom, you better believe your ass. I better be seeing every single smear campaign video I can on Gavin Newsom. All right? I better be seeing every edit I can of gruesome Newsom next to the fucking homeless crushing machine 3000. All right? Until there's a more progressive candidate that actually is willing to run, what the fuck do you want me to do? Shove my fucking finger up my ass? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do besides that. We should tell Democrats, hey, we like it when you do this. We like when you fight the Republicans. Hey, idiots. Yes, they say they're going to gerrymander. Say you're going to do it back. Hello. Right? Is that a trick question? No, it's not. But anywho, okay. All right. I'm going to head off for today. I'm so tired. I'm going to like fucking go book my first ever massage session and tell you guys if it works. I don't know if I can get one today, same day. That might be crazy. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them. And I will see all of you guys in the next one. Bye.